Welcome everyone. This is a song Billy, a good friend of mine, been on the channel for many years, and I hope he's doing well after he had an accident. He suggested this, and it's a great song by John Mellencamp with Bruce Springsteen. The more I got into this, the more I realized this is really a very blues-based song. The rhythm, they change it up so you don't really feel like it's a heavy blues song or a sad blues song, but it's got so many blues licks, and honestly every verse and chorus is slightly different. So I've written everything out for you. We're going to go over the real big highlights of it. I'll give you the meat and potatoes, and if you want to follow along, again, my notes will come real handy because, again, some licks are repeated, but, you know, they might be in the verse and then all of a sudden they're in the chorus. So we'll go over kind of the structure. It's in normal tuning, using a Strat. I could tell they're in the second position, which is the bridge and neck pickup. So if you got a Strat, click it up to the first part and you'll get that kind of quacky Fender tone. Alright, so to start this off, it's really in the key of A. So our main chords are going to be A, D, and E. Alright, they just start out on the 5th and 4th string with open hammered into 2. Then we just lay down, catch the 3rd and 2nd string. Then we lift off there, hit the 3rd string, hammer into 1. Again, a very bluesy move. Then we're going to come up on the 1st and 2nd string open while we're on that 3rd string at the 1st fret. There's an E for you. So this whole first little go-round is really an E, and just working around it as blues players do. So to that point, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now what we're going to do is just hit a deadened A and then an A chord. We're not going to hit the 1st string, it'll be 5 through 2. And then you hear a little vibrato from the treble bar. Alright, then we start again. Then we have this little leg. Alright, so we're going to be on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string to open 2nd. Then we come back to 3, hit the 2nd fret, pull off to open, and then the 4th string 2 to open. So we have this. Now, and pretty much the rest of the song, they're not going to be doing the hammer-on part. They're just going to be hitting an E 6th string open and doing the rest of the lick. So it'll sound like this. The second measure in the intro, actually they upstrum on that E twice, the open 2nd and 1st string with our 1st finger on the 3rd string 1st fret. So it'll sound like this. Then we do our muted note to A. Then he quickly moves to reference another A on the 5th fret at the 1st and 2nd string. Then he slides in on the 3rd and 2nd string to 9 and 8. So we have, then we're going to hit it again. Then we're going to come back to 7 and hammer in that 8, 9. 7 on the 3rd and 2nd, hammering into 8 on the 2nd and 9 on the 3rd. So from that muted note, it happens very quickly. If you don't hit the 5, that's fine. Just you can just lead into that. That might help you a little bit because it is played pretty quickly. Then we're back into the E 6th string to the lick. We have this. And that's where the intro stopped. So what we're doing there is 2nd fret of the 3rd string with a bend, a release, a pull off to open, then 2 on the 4th string, open back to 2. Now we start, basically it's a chorus. The way the song starts out, we got the intro and then they go into a chorus before they go into a verse, which is a little different, but he's saying, you know, why would you say such a word? And, you know, that's the chorus. So for the chorus, the first measure is quite different from what we've played, and the second measure is very recognizable. So I'm going to play this first chorus, and I'll show you what we're doing. Alright, so that's the chorus. So it really starts with an E chord, but we're going to hit the 6th string open before we actually hit the rest of the chord. Then again, then our muted note in A, and there's a rest there for a couple counts, and then we hit 2 on the 3rd string to open, and then open 4th. Then we start it again. And then we do those notes again. At that point, we break into a little bit more chorusy feel to it. We're going to hit D twice to A once, and then A down up. So it's down up D, A down, and then A down up. And then we have D for 4 down ups. Down, up, and then slight pause, and then down, up. Alright, so that whole chorusy part with the Ds. So we do that lick that we just learned, and now we're going to play these notes. The 3rd string 2 to open, and then the 4th string open hammered to 2. Again the lick. Then these notes, 2 on 4 to open 2. I'm sorry, open 3rd string hammered on to 2. Okay, so I'll play through that whole 2nd measure of the chorus here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're into verse 1. Verse 1 is very short. It's kind of like a shortened version of the chorus. We're going to do this. Alright, so what we're doing is riding on that E before we hit the chord twice. Then we're going to hit the 3rd fret of the 6th string with a slight pull down, that G note, into an A chord. Then we're going to hit the chord muted. That'll be a total of 3 chords and 2 mutes. Then we come back to our E for 4 counts. Then he does a shortened D down up to A. Alright, then we're into the 2nd chorus. Now, again, I told you they changed this up. Then it's 2 to open, and then open 4th. Then start again. And this like. done that already. It'll be 2 on the third to open second, back to 2 on the third, pulled off to open, and then 2 and open on the fourth. Then we do that, I'll call it the chorusy part, where we hit the D to A, back to D. Alright, so now we do the lick again. Now this lick after that is a little different from what we've done. We're going to take the 4th string, hammer onto 2, then we'll hit the 3rd string, open, 2, open, back to 4, open. Alright. Then we're into verse 2. Alright, so what we're doing is riding on that E before we hit the chord twice. Then we're going to hit the 3rd fret of the 6th string with a slight pull down, that G note, into an A chord. Ah. Then we're going to hit the chord muted. That'll be a total of 3 chords and 2 mutes. Then we come back to our E for 4 counts. Then he does a shortened D, down, up to A. Alright, so now we're to chorus 2. Chorus 2 starts out with our lick, our E lick, we'll call that. And then the quote lick after that really reminds me of a Van Halen song. See if you know what it is and can put it in the comments. So what we're doing for that lick is hitting the open string, hammering onto 2 and 4 before we hit the 3rd string, open, 2, open, back to 4, open. And that 2-4 is very quick. So there you go for that. Now we do the E lick. That lick just cuts out the 4. We're just hammering into 2. And then we end up on 2. I'm sorry, that is different. Alright, then we do our E lick. Now this lick is a little bit different. He's going to hit the opened 5th string and come in from there. So what we're doing is sliding from 2 to 3 after the open 5th string, catching 2 on the 4th string, then open 2 on the 3rd. Back to the lick. So that last lick, this is the 2nd measure of the 2nd chorus. We're going to hit the open E string to the 2nd string, 3rd fret, 2nd fret to open, then open 3rd string, 2nd fret of the 4th string. Okay, a little different. And then we're into verse 3. Verse 3 is a little bit, I want to call it funkier, because they do a couple open string jabs after A. So we got our E to start it out with. We'll do our pull down to A, then hit A again, and then those up strums on the 1st and 2nd string. So then we do our lick again with 2 up strums, and then we hit our E, and then that's a 6th string, and then we end it with 2 Ds to an A. So that's verse 3. God, everything's different. I don't see these guys ever doing this live, or even John. It's just so different. Kind of off the cuff. Let's see. So that's verse 3. Now chorus 3. is very similar to what we've learned. It does end with the chorusy song. They end with 2 hits on A, hold A, then they start the solo rhythm. Now the solo rhythm starts out, it's going to be a D, and then another D down up to an A, and then an A down up. Then we go to an E. Then we start again. Our E, hold that for 4 counts, then A, back to E, then A. Right, then we come in with our D to A, and E ends the solo. Alright, so that's the solo. So verse 4 is a lot different. There's really not any notes after our E lick. We're going to do the E lick and hold the A, the first half measure. Second half after the A, we'll do a little lick on the 6th and 4th string. So that lick is an open 6th to the 3rd fret again, pulled down slightly, catching the 4th string at the 2nd fret. Then coming back to the 3rd fret, pulling that down on the 6th string, and then open and letting that ring. And they kind of hold that, okay? Then you'll hear this lick. Held. So what he does is he takes the 1st string, 5th fret, slide to 3, and then pull open. Then we're going to strike 3 on the 2nd fret. Use your middle finger, your ring finger, because then your middle finger is right there at the 2nd fret, and you can slide to 4, back to 2, and then pull off. Then you're going to hit 2 on the 4th string to open, and then open 5th. Then an A chord. We start the 4th chorus. Alright, we're almost there. 4th chorus really kind of ends the song. It's twice as long as any other chorus in the song. There is a harmonica solo at the very end, and they're just playing through that with the rhythm underneath. So for chorus 4, our lick afterwards, we're going to do the E lick. Stop there. That lick is 5th string open to the 2nd fret, slightly bent, and then just lay it down and catch 2 on 4. And start over. Alright, then you're going to have this. What they do up at the 7th fret, alright, we're going to bend it, release, and pull off to 5, hit 7 to 5, and then 3 to 5. So that is really a repeat, that 2nd measure of what we just did, but we're not going into the D and A chords. We're going to stay on the E. We're going to do this. So he's going to hit 2, bend, release, pull off to open twice. It's on the 3rd string, then we're back into the E lick. Alright, so the last, or not last, second to last, this 3rd measure, that note run up is 2nd fret of the 3rd string to open 2, 3 on the 2nd string. and then the first string open 3/5. Alright, so after we do our E lick on the fourth measure, we're going to hit the first string at 10 and the second string at 12. And we'll just strike that twice and then 4 more times. Alright, so that lick is familiar. Now we're into the harmonica solo. And during the harmonica solo, they're coming out of the song, so he's just going to hold the A after our E lick. E lick again, held with the A. Then we're going to come in with the D to A and then end on E. We won't go back to D. So that last measure with the harmonica solo. 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Alright, so we'll go over the solo next. It's not real difficult, just pulled off really well. Melodic, so that helps, and we'll go over that next. You'll have the whole song. So for the solo, what we're doing, we're going to be at the 12th position for this first measure and a quarter of what I've written out more because it didn't quite fit the page. So I'm going to play through that, then we'll go through it because the second half kind of changes up to the first position. So we'll start out like this. Alright, so now I'm back to the first position, so I'm down here with the bridge pickup. Got some overdrive to my Fender clean sound. Earlier, I'm just playing through a clean Fender Bassman. Little touch of dirt, but mostly clean. So this starts with a slight rake on the, let's see, that'd be the 5th and 4th string till we hit the 3rd string at 14 with a slow bend. Alright? Then we're going to hit 14 again with another slow bend. Then we hit 14 to 12, unbent, and then 14 pulled off to 12, landing on 14 with a little bit of vibrato before we move on. Alright, so to this point, I'll stop at 14 there. Alright, now we take off from 14 again, that's the 4th string, to 12 and 14 on the 3rd string, bent up before we catch 12 to 15 on the 2nd string, bent up. At that point, we're going to hit the 12th fret of the 1st string twice before we come back and hit 15 on the 2nd, bent again, and 12 a little bit quicker. Then we're going to do a slow bend on 15 on the 2nd string before we come back to the 1st string, 12 twice to 15, bend to release, to then hitting 12. Then we do the same thing on the 2nd string, 15, bend and release, hit 12. So you hear a little pattern here. Then we're going to kind of do 14 slow bend and then bend release 12 to 14. So it kind of continues on. Then 14 again. So that's the first quarter, or measure and a quarter. All right, let's go through it again slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. change positions from there. Alright, the next lick of the solo comes up here to the open position and will sound like this. So we're going to hit the open first string to the second string 3, 3rd fret, and then open. Then we're going to slide from 2 to 4 on the 3rd string. Come back and hit 2 and pull off to open. So we have this so far. Then we come back to 2 on that 3rd string with a bend, release, pull off to open, and then strike 2 again. Then we just roll our finger up and catch 2 on the 4th string twice. Then they have, it's an odd note, but it reminds me of ZZ Top. You just hear this E note, but it's got vibrato on it and it's slid into. So it'd be the 5th fret of the 2nd string. All right, and then another 3rd string, 1st position, bent, release, and pulled off to open, back to 2, and then 2 again on the 4th string twice. So let's take this middle part of the second measure of the solo, because there's really, after this, only one more chord to measure. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we just move up to 15 on the 2nd string with a bend and catch 15 on the 1st. And then a bend and release on 15 to 12 on the 2nd. So we have this so far. And then we land on 14 on the 3rd string to end. And that's the end of the solo. So I really hope it helps everybody. A lot of work to it. My notes will be available right below the video, so you can download them as always and play along with the song and enjoy.